think you've dated someone that's a narcissist, or perhaps you think they're an avoidant, but you just can't tell which one is which. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca B. Fox. I'm a psychotherapist, and I'm going to talk you through the key differences between someone who's narcissistic and someone who is an avoidant. These types of people exhibit behaviours that make relationships very challenging. Both do have very distinctive personality types with different underlying motives and coping mechanisms. And once you understand these, you'll be able to spot the difference between someone who's highly narcissistic and someone who has an avoidant personality style. So Number one focuses on the self versus fear of intimacy. You see, a narcissist primarily focuses on themselves. They will seek attention and they will seek validation, and they also have an inflated sense of self-importance with a lack of empathy for other people. But avoidants are very different. You see, they do want intimacy and closeness, but they fear it. So what they will do is they will create emotional distance from that partner as a way to protect themselves from any potential rejection which they believe is what is going to happen. Avoidants also have difficulty relying on others and expressing their emotions in general, so people think they're very cold and very aloof. Number two, self-image. Narcissists have an exaggerated and a grandiose self-image. They really do believe that they are entitled to special treatment because they believe themselves to be special and not like other people. But avoidants, however, have more of a realistic self-image. They do struggle with feelings of inadequacy, and this is why they avoid that closeness in relationships, so that they then don't feel that inadequacy when potentially they are rejected by a partner. Number three, empathy and relationships. Narcissists, they lack empathy and they will exploit others for personal gain. Relationships with a narcissist, they're one-sided, with the narcissist needing constant admiration and attention from their partner at all times. Whereas avoidants, they can experience empathy, but they just have a difficulty with emotional intimacy. So in other words, what I'm talking about here is connection. Avoidants do desire a close relationship, but that fear of being vulnerable, which is very much needed as a way to create a deep connection with someone, is just too much for them, which is why they avoid being in a relationship. Number four, handling criticism. A narcissist will react strongly to criticism. They will become defensive and they'll become very hostile. And this is because they cannot accept that they have any flaws or shortcomings. They will not entertain anyone who thinks they can point anything like that out to them. But avoidants, when they're criticized, they internalize the criticism. And this is what leads them to feeling extremely inadequate, and they will be deeply affected with anxiety as a result of this criticism. So the avoidant will always avoid situations where any criticism may occur. Number five, desire for connection. A narcissist needs attention and admiration. You see, a relationship for a narcissist is nothing more than a tool that they will use as a way to get their needs met. And this is especially true when it comes to getting validation. Whereas avoidants, they do have a desire for connection, but that fear of any potential negative consequences is what holds them back. And this is why they struggle to maintain close relationships, due to that fear of being overwhelmed or potentially rejected. Number six, coping mechanisms. Narcissist coping mechanisms involve seeking external validation. So they will usually dominate conversations, and they will take great pleasure in exploiting others as a way to maintain what they believe to be is a positive self-image. But avoidants, they don't have the same mechanisms. Their coping mechanisms will include emotional distancing. There will be a reluctance for them to open up and share, and they have a tendency to downplay the importance of any close relationship, which often makes people think they're not interested or they're not wanting any kind of relationship, but that just isn't true. An avoidant just doesn't want to put themselves in the firing line, which could potentially lead to them getting rejected. Now, it is important to understand that personality traits, they exist on a spectrum. And I talk about this in my book, Taming Toxic Egos, which is available worldwide on Amazon. And I just want to remind you that no videos across any social media platform should be used as a diagnosis. Instead, think about using them as a way to understand behaviours and tendencies. And if you got value from this video, please share, and of course subscribe to my channel for more videos on mental health issues.